You can smell properly.
Yes, sir.
Did you smell marijuana in that living unit for the 19 months you were there?
Yes, sir.
And you smelled the marijuana within that living unit?
Yes, sir.
And so you would agree with me then that marijuana was in that living unit?
Well, to the smell, but I never see it.
You would agree with me that marijuana was in that living unit?
Yes, sir.
And during the 19 months that you were in that living unit, did you witness fights?
Witness, sir?
Fighting between the inmates?
No, sir.
Did you witness there was a chopping up, there was a chop up on that living unit
No, sir.
in 2015? Were you there when the chopping up happened?
Since I go in jail, I never seen no chopping up there, sir.
Did you see, since you been on that living unit, have you seen inmates being stabbed up?
No, sir.
You've never witnessed that.
No, sir.
Have you ever, as an inmate, armed yourself in fear of being attacked?
No, sir.
Have you ever, within the 19 months that you were in Capital A, seen groups of inmates forming collectivities or forming gangs to protect themselves or to attack other inmates?
No, sir.
You would say that that living unit was a very peaceful living unit if the panelists to believe what you're saying.
Yes, sir. You used to get service, used to keep in the unit there. For a long
You're
time,
saying
sir.
that living unit was a very peaceful unit.
Yes, sir.
There were no interpersonal, serious interpersonal issues with inmates.
No, well, you just get tight talking, but not nothing for talk about where you come into fighting and these things.
There were no fighting on that living unit.
No, sir.
And inmates, there were no severe tensions with inmates.
I really understand what you mean by this.
Were there any, and the officer is telling me these are the terms you use, I don't understand, were there any grievance or vibes?
Grievance or vibes?
And tell me how would you explain vibes to the panel?
Well, I really know why it's vibes to explain it.
How would you explain it?
I don't know why it's vibes. I don't know why it's vibes to explain vibes.
Very well. Let's get back to March 3rd. When you were in the vicinity of the door. What were you hearing during the fire?
Yeah, I hear prisoners shouting for the officer come and open the door.
What else were you hearing?
I hear there's just this screaming that you must come and open the door because them eye burning and their skin burning them nose. And that was having a scene, and for a while I hear nothing more.
Were you verbalizing anything during the fire?
I understand what you're saying, sir.
What were you doing during the fire?
Oh, I was at the northern side of the door,
And what were you
lying
doing?
on my belly.
Excuse me?
I was lying on my belly on the tile.
You were lying on your belly.
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing while you were lying on your belly?
Nothing, sorry, just like seeing if I could catch the fresh air through the door.
You said you heard inmates shouting for officers to open the door.
Yes, sir.
Did you heard anything else?
Yes, they just were here. I hear them saying that them skin burning.
Did you heard any cutting of the metal? Did you saw any efforts by the officers to extract inmates by getting that door open?
No, sir. After a long time, then I see an officer come by the same doorway I went lying on. He tried to open the door, but the door wasn't open either, sir.
Well, I'm going to make these suggestions to you. I'm going to suggest to you from where you were, because you said that you were right near to where the distance was right in the proximity of where the constable is standing relative to you. I'm going to suggest to you that you saw the officers with a cutting machine trying to cut through the housing of that door to separate the door from the housing so they can get you out.
No, sir.
I'm going to suggest to you that the officers continued making effort to cut that door open.
No, sir.
I'm going to suggest to you as well that while the officers were doing that, the inmates, and possibly you included, were hurling abuses at them.
No, sir.
I'm going to suggest to you as well that you would have observed. I'm going to suggest to you that you would have observed the officers trying to connect a fire hose so that that fire could be extinguished.
No, sir.
I'm going to suggest to you that you also observed the fire department when they arrived.
No, sir.
And I'm going to suggest to you that you were one of the beneficiaries of the fire department pouring water in the area where they observed the majority of you were huddled so that the fire can be prevented from getting to you.
No, sir.
And I'm going to suggest to you as well that you're not being entirely truthful when you say to the panel that you didn't observe the efforts of the officers to free you.
Sir, could please ask back the question?
Well, let me put this to you very directly. You emerged after the officers were able to get the door open to free you. You emerged through the western door, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to suggest to you that that western door through which you exited when they were able to breach that door was as a result of cutting it open to get you out of there.
I don't know how we can get it open, sir.
But you would agree that the officers eventually extracted you or got you out of there.
I know the door open, but I come out myself. I know the door open.
But I'm going to suggest to you that the door was not opened by a key. It was opened by cutting it open.
I don't know, sir.
And that you heard the sound of that cutting noise.
No, sir.
A moment's indulgence, Your Honor.
Yes, yes,
Those are all my questions for this witness, Mr. Chairman.
yes. You want to, okay, okay. We'll take the adjournment now for lunch, say about half an hour or so. A break, sorry. A short break for about half an hour.